So now is the time on Hug Nation when we share the answers to the question of the day. Okay, so the question of the day is, are you more afraid of failure or success, and why? Honestly, that is a really hard question. I'm not sure if more or less. You don't have to pick. Basically, I just wanted to kind of address that thought of what I talked about earlier about, you know, there are some things for me that if everybody thinks I'm going to lose, I don't mind losing. If everybody thinks that I'm going to win and I lose, ooh, that is the worst for me. I would much rather be expected to lose than expected to win. I'd rather be an underdog. It's one of the reasons why in so much of my life I created a category of one, so I don't have to compete. Pink-haired lifestyle artists, there's one of them. Therefore, I win. I also am last place, but I don't think about it that way. So here's some of the answers to that. Moni Pierce said, the fear is neither of success nor failure, but of changing everything to take the risk. Chris Tierney said, the only way to succeed is to increase your rate of failure. For me, success is a destination, and I am far less interested in the destination. The journey is what makes life worth living. That's awesome. You know, when I posted my kind of freak out about the panicking about the show, I got all sorts of great advice, and one of them was like, what did they say? Like, go for fail, something like that. About like, and it's, you know, it's one of those things that intellectually I know I just need to practice more. That great people fail constantly. And if I look back at my life, the things that are failures, I don't actually regret. You know, leaders, someone said, another comment, they said, leaders decide quickly. You know, and being unattached to the outcome, being more in tune with, did I have integrity when I made that choice? That's what's going to make you feel joyous at night and wake up and excited. Not the actual destination, as Chris said. It's the journey. Am I in integrity? Am I honorable? Am I a righteous warrior for what I believe in as I make this journey? And if that ends in things that I didn't want from this place in my mind, clearly I was spared. It's a Byron Katie thing. If something didn't happen the way you wanted to, if a relationship or a job or something, you really wanted that job and then they called me back and said, you're not the right person. Clearly you were spared. You weren't supposed to have that job. How do you know? Because you don't. Okay, a few more answers to that. Scott said, the conscious me is afraid of failure. The subconscious me is afraid of success. Ed Lucas said, why, yes, I am. Jennifer said, I'm afraid of trying. If I try, I might fail, which I am not okay with. If I try, I might succeed, and I might have bitten off more than I'm able to handle. So I have to push myself to be okay with failing or succeeding, and not just standing still, doing nothing. It's kind of like, you know, I love having the potential of something. Before I wrote a book, I secretly loved the fact that when I write a book, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a bestseller. People are going to go, oh my gosh, who is this guy? It's incredible. As long as I never write the book, my fantasy can never be destroyed. The same was true with my TEDx. You know, if I ever did a TEDx, you know, the world would know my brilliance or whatever. But until I do the TEDx, you know, the fantasy can be as grand as possible. And this TV show is in a similar boat. And I think that's part of what Jennifer's saying. If you try, you might fail. Sam Sabi said, I'm afraid of success. Failure, I can remain humble and hidden. Success means I have to show myself, which for some reason seems harder to me. Sarah Gilbert said, success means being accountable. Failure is comfort. Samsa clarified, I have been comfortable failing for many years. It's low maintenance, and I don't have to worry about being a douchebag. However, my spirit is suffering because of these petty self-punishments and laziness. And maybe success is something different than what I once perceived, but I do avoid going out there and being all I can be when I know I could if I wanted. Christina McAllister said, all of the above. Frazzle said, neither the experience of one is the lesson of the other. Neither. The experience of one is the lesson of the other. While most try to live in a black or white side of the yin-yang reality, we should look close, and we'll see that we are simply walking on the path between the two contrasts. This holds true even to the point of where there is only a small thread of one and a large bulb of the other. Ironically, our being always seems centered on this line, no matter where we are situated. Realizing this, we are, it seems, consciousness experiencing, the action of being pushed and pulled by the contrast inside the illusion we call time and space. Woo! We have to read that again later. Paul Slope's answers to the fear question is spiders. Stacey Taylor says, success, because I'm afraid that I am not working hard enough to deserve it. Ooh, good one. Which is ludicrous. Wow, John, you made me aware of something I wasn't previously aware of. Good. That is a very common thing, to feel like we are undeserving. Jacob Glass is fond of saying, we don't live the life we deserve. We live the life we think we deserve. Dale McNew said, I think both scare me. Success may be a little more so, because then I have that standard set. But with failure, it's more the pain that can come after that I'm afraid of. That was Freestyle Fox. Thank you. AJ Woodhyatt said, failure by far, as it exposes you and faults. It makes you vulnerable and judged. Ooh. April Light said, I have always been haunted by a fear of failure. This has turned me into an overachiever in many aspects of my life, but it feels as though that overachievement is constantly or consistently resented by others. I'm seen as too competitive. This, in the end, breeds fear of success. It's a wicked cycle that I would love to learn to escape. I'm open to ideas. Nick said, I'm afraid of never trying to find out. You know, Modesta said, a fear of success. I feel like my bigger purpose holds a lot of responsibility. So many of these ring true for me. I know that you know, there's so much in our culture that encourages people to, you know, seize the day, be your best. The Tony Robbins kind of, you know, get out there and live your best life and, you know, charge and you can do it. And, you know, you listen to these quotes by, like, the Fresh Prince, you know, and it's all about, there is no second, win, 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 win. And it's no wonder that we have these fears, because I've been practicing lately on not judging success based on this vision of success, but instead judging success based on being present, having integrity, am I aligned with love? And more and more I'm getting this evidence from the universe that simply doing the work in love and integrity guides you on a path that unfolds in a successful way as the universe deems is appropriate. But if I make it happen, I'm constantly in a state of expectation. And I feel like the path is far less easy to enjoy when you're in that state. Now, others might be different. Others might get whipped into a joyful frenzy, imagining their best life and their best selves. But I think that it's also easy to be constantly feeling like you're not enough if your eyes are always on this external, you know, winning of some sort. It's it's hard. It's hard. Let's see, any more input on this? No. So cool. Let me just. So thank you everybody for all the great answers. I mean, I think that it's funny how success, failure, both involve being vulnerable. And both, I think, the hardest, most harsh consequences come from ourselves, our thoughts, our mind. And generally, almost guaranteed, our projection of what the consequences will be, that pain we experience as we project in the forward and tell a story, get out of the present and go there, is 10 times worse than whatever might happen when we get there. If you can challenge me and tell me that's not the case, but it goes back to that a hero dies 1,000 deaths and a coward. No, excuse me. A coward dies 1,000 deaths and a hero dies once. Every time we worry and get fear and experience the unpleasantness of that failure, whether even before it happens, we experience it. Whereas if you just charge, and then that one, when the failure finally comes, is the only time you have to experience it. I need to practice that. And the best way, I think, is getting present, having integrity, aligned with love.